It's early afternoon on a late winter day in coastal Georgia. A 25-year-old, lean and focused, runs past cul-de-sacs and marsh grasses. He's done this many times, running to clear his head, to feel his legs and lungs move in rhythm. Minutes later, 3 shotgun blasts would end his life and begin a national reckoning. His life ended in a barrage of false superiority, anger, and hatred, but Ahmaud Arbery's run would not end that day. Ahmaud Marquez Arbery was born May 8, 1994, in Brunswick, Georgia, to Wanda Cooper Jones and Marcus Arbery Sr. In high school, he was a football standout, disciplined, competitive, and loyal to his friends and family. After graduation, he kept training, running nearly every day, and talked about learning a trade while staying close to home. Neighbors knew him as a familiar figure on the move. He loved to run. In Santilla Shores, a house under construction drew attention. Security cameras captured several people, Ahmaud among them, stepping inside briefly to look around. The owner later said nothing was taken, but a reported theft from an unlocked truck and chatter in neighborhood groups fed a sense, often more rumor than fact, that something was wrong. In the weeks before February 23rd, calls to police reported a man on the property. Video showed Ahmaud looking around for a few minutes, then jogging away. No damage, no theft. On February 23rd, he set out for a run in a t-shirt, shorts, running shoes, and no socks. A routine day, a familiar route. Shortly after 1 p.m., Gregory McMichael and his son Travis saw Ahmaud running, believing, without direct evidence, that he was tied to local trespassers. They grabbed guns, jumped into a pickup truck, and pursued. A neighbor, William Roddy Bryan, joined in, filming on his phone. Over several minutes, the trucks boxed Ahmaud in. Investigators later said Bryan used his vehicle to try to confine him and struck him at least once. On Holmes Road, Travis stopped ahead. As Ahmaud tried to run past, a struggle erupted at the truck's front. Shortly after, 3 shotgun blasts roared into the silence. Ahmaud collapsed and died at the scene. He was unarmed. Police responded, but made no arrest that day. Gregory McMichael had previously worked as an investigator for the local district attorney, Jackie Johnson, creating conflicts of interest. In fact, here's the actual phone call that Gregory McMichael made to DA Jackie Johnson after the unaliving of Ahmaud.
Jackie, this is Greg. Can you call me as soon as you possibly can? My son and I have been involved in a shooting, and I need some advice right away.
Johnson's office recused. The case moved to District Attorney George Barnhill, who was also later recused after advising police early on. Before stepping aside, he wrote that the McMichaels acted in self-defense under Georgia's then citizen's arrest law. For more than 2 months, the case stalled. In May, Bryan's cell phone video became public. Notably, the release of the video is what prompted authorities to action. Outrage spread, and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation took over, arresting the McMichaels within 48 hours and Bryan soon after. In 2021, former DA Jackie Johnson was indicted on counts including violation of oath and obstruction related to her handling of the case. The case was later thrown out. I should note that 2 DAs saw the cell phone video and they were fine with it, deciding not to press charges. One other thing to note, toxicology reports were ordered on the victim, not the shooters. Those reports came back negative, so that couldn't be used against Ahmaud or for the unalivers. Prosecutors from Cobb County led the case in Glenn County Superior Court. After extensive jury selection, 11 white jurors and 1 black juror were seated. The defense argued the men pursued a suspected burglar under citizen's arrest and that Travis acted in self-defense. The state argued there was no immediate knowledge of any crime and that the armed pursuit was unlawful and that the men initiated the confrontation. Video evidence, 911 calls, and testimony from GBI investigators proved pivotal. In November 2021, the jury found Travis McMichael guilty on all counts, including malice. Gregory McMichael and William Roddy Bryan were found guilty of felony and related charges. In January 2022, the judge sentenced Travis and Gregory McMichael to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Brian received life with the possibility of parole after 30 years. Then came the federal case. Prosecutors charged all three with hate crimes and attempted kidnapping. The McMichaels also faced the firearms count. After a judge rejected proposed plea deals, a federal jury in February 2022 convicted all three of violating Ahmaud Arbery's civil rights because of his race and of attempted kidnapping. The McMichaels were also convicted of using a firearm during a violent crime. In August 2022, federal sentences were imposed, life terms for the McMichaels and 35 years for Brian, running concurrently with their state sentences. The assumption here is that they preferred federal custody to state custody because they thought it would be safer and more comfortable than state prisons. Ironically, they never once stopped to consider the safety of the man they so callously murdered in the streets. Request to serve time in federal custody was denied. The impact reached beyond the courtroom. Georgia passed the hate crimes law in June 2020, and in May 2021 repealed and replaced its Civil War-era citizens arrest statute, the first state to take that step, citing misuse in this case. Across the country, #IRunWithMaud events, often 2.23 miles, honored Ahmaud and pushed for accountability. His family pursued civil actions. Some local settlements followed. Scholarships, murals, and annual runs now carry his name and a simple promise: the right to move freely in public. Defense attorneys said the men believed they were protecting their neighborhood under a then existing statute and reacted in self-defense during a confrontation. Prosecutors and civil rights advocates argued the pursuit lacked legal grounds from the start: no immediate knowledge of a crime, no authority to detain with guns, and that racial bias and vigilantism turned an ordinary run into a fatal encounter. Rare but relevant. Citizens arrest laws historically allowed narrow, after-the-fact detention for crimes witnessed directly, and experts say they were often misapplied, dangerously so here. Ahmaud Arbery's name is now spoken in courtrooms, classrooms, and starting lines. His life, his run, and the pursuit of justice reshaped law, stirred conscience, and reminded us that freedom of movement is a right, not a privilege. May we remember the runner and protect the path. In America, land of the free, we are all afforded the right to run. Well, we should be, and it shouldn't take tragedy and death, civil and criminal lawsuits, and public outcry to ensure this is true.